Boondoggle. This is why we should have a roving mic too. Camera.
And live,
dude.
Are we live?
He does this to us every fucking week.
Are we live? I can't even tell.
We're not looking at you. You're weird. It's not. It's a lack of a haircut. All right. Well, I guess we're on.
Are we?
We're on.
I can't tell because I'm not looking at a monitor like we usually have. It's all fucked up today. But you know what you should do?
Look at Chris a lot until he turns gay.
Well, I heard there was a dude.
There was a guy, and then what was it?
I don't know.
His hand jobs or
something.
Yeah,
something.
for free,
like
dollars,
testicles or tonsils or testicles on tonsils or something. I don't know.
Well, we're back. It's Monday once again.
Well, yeah.
How are you?
Welcome to You Know What You Should Do. I'm Gizz Lazlo.
I'm just Paul.
And here we are again. Man. 31 episodes today.
Today's our 31st. It's like a whole month's worth of awesome.
30 yeah. It's not 31 weeks consecutive, but definitely
31 days. You could like watch you can watch an episode every day in the month of July and see us every day. Every day.
Oh, so how was your week?
My week's been super stressful.
Pelican.
There's Pelican.
Pelican.
Not a lot of work. I had fucking meds for my fucking blood pressure, whatever. Got through it, got to where I had to be, and then last night I got to go see fucking George Thorogood, the Delaware Destroyers, and John Fogerty, who got his fucking catalog back. So last night was a kickoff for his little mini tour, and he said literally, I get to play my music again. I'm going to play every single fucking song for you.
Nice.
And then proceeded at 79 years old to make us all look bad. I mean, he did not stop. He got his two boys on stage. Fucking the sex whistle was going. The entire audience got pregnant. You turn that saxophone on and it's just like ovaries go blah.
Saxophone.
So
Cheers.
that was fucking fantastic. Cheers. How was your week?
To be honest, dude, I don't even remember. I drank a lot last week.
Oh yeah, well, that makes sense.
Saturday I went down to Oceanside and played at the Poorhouse.
Yeah.
We played with Super Buffet, who did the punk rock Sha-Na-Na. So
that sounds awesome.
I was like, dude, you guys should change your name to Sha-No-No. And that didn't go over well.
No.
But they're funny guys, and they're really cool musicians, and they got a really cool concept going on. They just do whatever the fuck they want.
That's pretty much as punk rock as you're going to get.
And then the other band was Periscope, Shin something. I can't remember.
Shin Dive?
No. I can't remember what their name was. But they're a bunch of youngsters. They're probably late 20s, but psychedelic punk rock. Really cool. You know, I wouldn't say very unique, but unique to their age bracket, I would say.
All right.
So they're really cool musicians and really cool band. They had a shit ton of people out to watch them.
Can you see where the little cursor is?
Right on your face?
On my nose.
Nice picking your nose with it. Stop. Ain't gonna do that shit to me.
It already happened.
And stop. I'm telling you, Sean.
It's just gonna be a fight. All right, so this is our 31st anniversary of one.
And today is special because purposely we decided not to have a guest tonight because I want to just go back to the roots and go back to our day one to where,
catching up.
You know, just like, how do you feel about 30 episodes that we've done?
I feel really positive about it. I'm sitting in the back room talking like there hasn't been a bad one. It's always, it's just been good and then better, and we keep getting better. And I feel like we've opened up a subject matter that isn't really common. Like we all know where punk rock came from. Thanks Iggy, thanks Ramones, thanks fucking whoever. We want to hear the stories about the people who are here. And I think we've done a fairly decent job of that to date. I think we're going to get better at it as time goes on. So I feel like it's an important thing to document.
I totally agree. One thing that came up recently, and I believe it was Sean that actually brought it up, that he was just like, yeah, you guys really are more of a talkumentary. And I really dug that terminology of what our show is, because it is. We're documenting about, through talking, we're documenting the history of our friends.
Right.
And I'm really proud to say that my friends are now our friends.
That dude, it's a great honor to have been dragged into this, not dragged into it, but I found my way into that door, and everybody that we've interviewed has now become a friend, and it's a really cool place to be.
And they fucking digging you. I don't know why.
I don't either, but
it's
because my intellect.
You that's a nice phone you got there, bro. What are you trying to say?
We're live on our website. Oh yeah, we forgot. Almost forgot. We want to say go to YouTube, like, share, subscribe.
Oh yeah, I forgot about sharing.
And we have these things called sponsors.
Yeah, we for those sponsors will start presenting themselves during season 2, but as of right now we have Transplants Brewing Company. We have Riot Manufacturing out of Vegas,
Headline Records.
And we have a few others who have not,
we're
officially signed on, but are definitely interested in sponsoring us. And
people want to hear these stories.
It's kind of weird to say, we have sponsors, because I always think of AA when I think of sponsors.
I was thinking of NASCAR, and I want that jersey. Can we get NASCAR?
What is up with him? Look at him.
Yeah, he's just sour.
We didn't ask you.
Just ask what's up with me.
No, don't give him a microphone. That's not going to help anything. But no, we want some NASCAR jerseys of our sponsors.
Oh, dude, that would be cool. I want underwear.
Yeah. We don't want to see you in your underwear, Pelican.
You can put your logo on.
Oh,
I'm gonna cover up the skid marks.
We got to get that band back together.
Yeah, the skid marks. So today we're going to interview each other. We're going to talk about the last 30 episodes.
Where do you want to start? Do you want to?
Actually, I got a really good question. I wanted to hit you with this one first. It's a multi-layered question, but it's a Gizz direct question.
Mm-hmm.
So you saw Kiss. You were blown away. You fell in love. You wanted to play drums. You did your thing. And now I've heard this over and over from people that have been in bands, like, well, I didn't do this to get famous or rich. It's like, you're fucking lying to yourself. Everybody does it because the spotlight, the attention, the being up on stage, it feels good. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that was your goal to rip people off. It just means that you felt good up there and it felt like that was your place to be in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you kind of got yourself up on the stage and doing that, how far did you think the music was going to take you? Not how far did you think you would take it, because we know that you're undying, relentless as stupid. How far did you think that music and that talent or whatever it was that you had, how far did you think it was going to get you? Like, what?
I to be quite honest, I never would have. You talk to 13-year-old me starting out as a drummer. I don't think I could have ever imagined that I, here at 53, could say, I was the fucking drummer for the UK Subs. I was the drummer for the Freeze. I was the drummer for Dr. No. I was the drummer for Bad Town Boys.
How many bands have you sung for?
I can't believe that I was in a band for almost 30 years with Dead Lazlo's place. I can't believe I started a band or co-founded another band for Sale that, influenced people in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
And now singing for Foreclosure, a band that's just, everything that we're doing is it's just like, how is everything just falling into place?
Yeah.
It's truly amazing, man. And I could have never dreamt that I would do as much as I've done, but I am very proud of what I've done. And I know I'm going to be proud of what I'm going to do from this point on, because it is about the love of doing what I do. It's not, when I was a kid, I had to do a paper for school for one of the classes I actually showed up to. And it was like, what do you want to do in the future? And I just, the first 3 things that came to mind, signed, rich, and famous. I've been signed, I am rich in experience and the friendships that I now have. And famous, I'm infamous.
There's wanted posters, that's for fucking sure. But I mean, in certain circles, you are like, it's an interesting question, because everybody's like, I'm gonna make myself into this thing. It's like, well, what do you think that thing would make you into?
See, but the thing is that the one thing that I can honestly say is that every band that I've ever been in is not about me. It's about the 3, 4, or 5 of us together doing something that is worth the shit that we go through in order to do it. Without the love and the respect for each other in a band, it's not going to work. If you start losing members of a band, it changes the whole dynamic. It changes the sound. It changes the attitude. And the bands that I've worked with who change members every week, you know, it starts to wear on me, because it's like, who the fuck am I going to be jamming with next week?
Well, it's interesting you say that, because like, so long ago and far away, I was, K-Rock as a kid, teenager, and headphones at night, just all night long on the Walkman. And I heard a song was Raspberry Beret with Warren Zevon singing. I'm like, I know who that band is. It was REM without Michael Stipe. And like instant, like, yep, I know exactly who that is. And so it's the same kind of thing. When you have that chemistry, you can't just pop in something else and somebody else. And I mean, you can add and subtract a little bit, but the backbone of the band, you can't just keep swapping that around, because you can tell, you can hear it.
Interesting enough that you say that. Like, that brings to mind like a band that I never really liked. I'm not going to say I hate them, but you know, they're very popular. Rage Against the Machine.
No,
I never, because of the politics, maybe, or because it's kind of rappy, I never really enjoyed their music. You know, it has its place in musical history, but when Audio Slave with Chris Cornell started singing for him, that was just truly amazing.
There was a whole different, like, there was a new level to it, but you also knew who the band was.
Yeah, you heard it and you're like, oh wow,
that's Tom Morello. End of story.
Yeah. But now they have Chris Cornell singing.
Exactly.
You know, who's not just screaming and not angry. This guy is being passionate. This guy's singing from his heart.
That chemistry, and that's what I mean by, where do you think the music's going to take you? Because you can't fake that.
No.
You literally, you can't just go, hey, we're going to put a super group together, Temple of the Dog. Well, it just doesn't work. You have to, like, Long Beach Dub All-Stars. Like that organic thing that brought you to that place, and the question of like, how far do you think that'll take you? I think that's an introspect that young musicians don't have, that somebody should give them, to say, how far do you think this is going to take you? You can take this as far as you want it to. But what do you think this is going to allow you to be and shine?
The only thing that I see wrong with today's bands is, I think a lot of these younger musicians feel like they deserve something for nothing. You know, you need to work, dude. Like, if you're not well traveled, if you're not a touring band, what the fuck are you really doing? Just because it's easier to put out a record now, anybody can put a fucking record out.
Damn,
you know, but do you have the money to press vinyl, to press a CD, now to press cassette?
To go on a tour, you lose money.
Yeah, and
eat ramen and McDonald's,
and come home and go, fucking hell, that was the best fucking.
That was the best worst
6
thing
weeks
ever.
Or 6 months I've been on the road. You know, like
Jimmy shit himself, and we all thought it was funny.
Yeah, fucking, you know, like, how many days did I drink on that tour? All of them. Oh, fuck yeah.
Wait,
you know,
you mean this tour?
It's like, but again, like, that's if you're not on the road, I don't think you can be called a band. And when people, like, they go, you know, for a 3-day trip, you know, to San Francisco and back, or San Diego and back, or Arizona or Vegas and back. Oh yeah, I went on tour. The fuck you did. You did a run. You did a run of shows. Let's get that straight.
I mean, the beer sponsored tours are 300 dates a year. You have to play 300 out of 365 days per year in order to get an alcohol sponsorship on a tour. That's a real thing. Like,
and
once you've gotten to that,
back in the day, dude, we were road hounds, dude.
But they were afraid of you guys because you would ruined Budweiser.
Always on the fucking, and we missed it by 6 days, I think.
Yeah.
That the sponsorship from Budweiser that we were actually trying to get that, you know, that year in the 90s. But again, man, we toured and we toured and we toured, and you know, and you can't buy that.
No.
You know, you know, that's why, you know, all these people that we've interviewed in 30 weeks, you know, I've toured with these guys, I've played with these guys, I've shared the stage with these people. You know, these aren't just, oh, I'm a fan and, you know, we know each other.
I mean, Crash Karma, they stopped here on their tour.
Yeah.
They were on tour and they stopped in here to say hi, and they kept going, and they're in Canada right now.
Yeah. But that's one of the bands that I'm talking about. Those those two are
They don't
always on the
stop.
fucking road.
Yeah.
And they're not just in America. They're going
way.
they're going to, Europe and
Stuttgart.
well, he's from Stuttgart, so it's easy for him to do that. But
Yeah.
he's also in Viso, so he's always touring, even when he's not touring with Crash Karma. And that's another thing I respect about a lot of musicians, especially nowadays, is that we don't just subscribe to one band. We're in several bands. I'm in 8 bands, I think, right now, and
Only one of them likes you.
yeah, and that's because I've never met them. They're
Right.
from Australia. But
So I think that's the big ethos.
I think that's one thing also with Chribo that I think I taught him was like, dude, don't just be in one band. You're too young to. It's like being in a relationship. You're gonna marry the first woman you
should always have 5 girlfriends.
Oh, it's not going that far.
I think it's pretty.
But now he's opening his his resume and performing with different bands, and I like seeing that because it's only going to help him in the future, where the more bands you're in, more people are going to see you, and there's that possibility where somebody's going to go, hey man, I saw you with that band, are you available? We need someone like
and
you.
You're a talented motherfucker.
He is, and he can play anything. He can play metal, and he can play pop punk, and
I've never heard him do any like really cool reggae ska stuff, but I think you can figure it out.
He don't play it around me.
You're scarred for life.
I have learned a lot from you.
So thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you. You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, that was my fucking intro and outro. Pelican.
I have a question for you.
Hit it.
What is the one band you truly detest?
Well, I mean, okay, there's a whole lot on that list, but really, Zeppelin is the one thing I'm going to turn off immediately. Like, nope, bloop, done.
Actually, I was yelled at and scoffed at a couple of rehearsals ago. I'm not going to say which band, but one of the guys in the band, when he heard me say it, was just like, what the fuck?
Dude, I'm sorry. Robert Plant's whiny ass bitch voice.
And again,
if you want to be hard,
it's not the music.
Dude, Jimmy
vocals.
Page is a living god. John Bonham was a pretty decent fucking drummer. John Paul was a pretty good bass player. The fucking whiny ass bitch vocals. Like, I'm sorry. If I want to hear Heart, and get Ann or Nancy Wilson to sing for you.
What was the other band that Robert Plant sang for a little while? It was a pop band.
He did some stuff with what's her foot? She's an Americana artist. I can't remember her name.
No. I think it was it wasn't a solo band. It was just Robert Plant sang for a different fucking band.
I wouldn't know because I fucking want to punch him in the mouth.
And
he's an arrogant piece of shit too.
Huh? No. Honey Drippers. That band. I actually liked that band.
No. I just can't, like, why are we like, I mean, when I was 13 years old and I was watching Poison and these 2 guys dressed up as women with big hair and makeup and they're singing into the same microphone, all I could think is like,
they're fucking.
Yeah. Like, they're breathing each other's dicks into
and if they're not, they
mouths.
should be.
Like,
they make a good couple.
Fucking when did men go away? Like, what the hell is happening right now? And that's like that kind of started with Robert Plant, like fucking Vince Neil. Like, gee, dude, sing like a man. Except for Bon Scott. He's Australian and they get a pass.
Well, again, like,
but I mean, that guy would have fucking hammered, and like he could have gotten a line of women in the back of a Cadillac and died, and then been dead and still pleased them all. There's Bon Scott.
But when you mentioned Vince Neil, like you listen to Too Fast for Love. That's a punk record. That's a punk record.
I can't with the makeup and the hair.
Whatever. I mean,
fucking,
I recently, well, not recently, it's probably been a few years, but I went to go see Cohill and Cambria and Mastodon, and the opening band was something Brides, Black
Veil Brides are really good.
Okay, now that is like Motley Crue-ish by visual, but musically, they were. I got to see the last few songs of the band, but I was just like, wow, this is actually pretty good.
voice.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like he's singing like a dude, not like trying to find an octave. And even like Geddy Lee, that's actually how Geddy Lee sounds. Geddy Lee wasn't trying that hard to get that high. He just sort of went there.
Yeah.
And so but you can tell like Plant and the fucking like the Sons of the Snow and the Broads and the like, I just don't do fantasy shit, man. I'm not gonna play Dungeons and Dragons. I don't give a fuck about your 12-sided dice. I don't.
Sorry, Joey.
None of this makes any sense to me. I just wasn't that guy. I was out skateboarding trying to break another bone. Like, oh, in the basement listening to fucking Zeppelin and playing. No. I grew up in Southern California. We didn't do that. If you're in Minneapolis and you're doing that, I get it. It's fucking winter. There's nothing else to do. Congratulations. You grew musically probably better than I did. I'm not going to argue that point. But fuck, man, we have 9 months of summer here. We weren't allowed in the house. Go outside. You're not watching TV on a Saturday morning. Leave the house.
Oh, I guess that's very true because, instead of going skating and snowboarding and all that, I chose to jump in a van.
Yeah.
And go out on the road and play music to me, what I think takes more balls than anything to be a musician is to go to a town that you've never been to play to a crowd that never has heard of you and fucking win them over. Yeah. That takes balls.
The hardest part of musicianship for me, and I've yet to do it successfully, is to stand in front of a crowd and sing a song. You've done it. What was the first time? The first time you like grabbed the microphone and you went on it. How did that feel? Because that is the most nervous point of my entire life. I'm like, I want to be ready to do it, but I'm 50 and I don't think it's appropriate.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe the very first show that I sang on vocals was at Hong Kong Cafe opening for The Offspring.
Dude.
It was Valentine's Day night. I dressed up like Cupid because I was just like, dude, I got to go on the stage and I'm not comfortable.
Yes, Brian, it does.
And I have to do this, and I had the confidence, to go out there and, we rehearsed a lot. So we were very well rehearsed to go on that stage. Yeah. I was very nervous. When I got nervous and I had a little bow and arrow and I was shooting it at the crowd and I didn't think, oh yeah, they can throw that shit back. And when they started throwing those arrows back at me, I was just like, oh, made jokes about it. But again, I think what I've done different than maybe 90% of lead singers is that I try to add that element of comedy, and to be able to make fun of yourself on stage, to make fun of other people, to just take the piss and just have fun. I don't insult people to where I make them cry. Well, okay, maybe a couple times, but that's not what I'm up there to do.
Right.
But ultimately, yeah, I want to be up there and I want you to remember that evening. I want you to remember my band.
It's also a defense mechanism a little bit. It's like, hey, I'm going to comedy up right now because
if I do it first, then
everybody's going to have fun with it too.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I've grown. I have a thick skin. I know. Hanging out with you for the last year, you drill me some nights where I'm just like, fuck.
I have fun. I'll give him the reach around, but Chris is going to do it.
But I think that the thing that brings us closer together is that we both are so quick-witted, and there's nothing taboo,
right? I've gotten a lot of compliments and like, you guys are fucking fast. And we were talking about this a few days ago or a week ago, or I think it was 2 weeks ago. Like, you find it easier and easier to be faster and faster. So I'm in the grocery store and somebody quips. I'm like, yep. It's like, oh fuck, should I have said that?
Well, today when Chribo showed up, he said something and we're just like, boom.
He's like, fuck, you guys, give me a second. Like, no,
I just woke up with that dude.
Yeah, he just kissed me on the cheek.
That wasn't a kiss. Can you calm down?
Fuck, man. Cohill's starting his own pit over there.
No, he's just having
Cohill in the folding chair.
He's having a seizure.
That's our first book, Cohill in the folding chair.
The wheelchair.
Did you die, Bobo? Here. D Boone's here with us in studio. He's a little needy.
One show that you remember that, you went and you were just like, fuck, this changed me.
So honestly, I think it was like the first. So I went to a couple of backyard shows, early high school, 88, 89, probably 88, late 89, or late 88. And then we went to, a group of us went to the Palladium for the No Control kickoff tour.
Oh.
So it was Bad Religion, Drama Rum, and the Dead Milkman at the Palladium. It was like kind of my first like actual show in a proper venue. I mean, I was fucking maybe 14 or 15. I think I was 14. And like we all wore our bombers. We didn't know yet. And so we're in the Palladium in the pit wearing bombers and black jeans and docks.
Sweating your ass
off.
off.
Dude, sweated all the way through that bomber. End of story. And it was that like I didn't know who Bad Religion was at that point. I was going for Dead Milkman and Dramarama. And the Dead Milkman, their gear didn't work. So they just sat on stage saying, shit, what do we do? And then Dramarama came on, they fucking slayed it. And then Bad Religion came on. I was like, oh my God. Like I did not know because we've been listening to records in the like Greg's back house for 2 summers and drinking wine when nobody's looking and seeing it on stage. It was something else, man. It really there was this resonation. Like listening to Minor Threat on a record is one thing. Listening to GBH on a record is one thing, but seeing it live and seeing the band up there doing it, it just punched me in the gut. It was like that's it. There is not another thing. That was fucking the end of it. That was all of it.
It was 83, 84 first time I saw GBH, and just the look, the attitude, and the music was like, I love this, and I want to be that. I don't want to be an American punk. Have that American punk look. I love the English look, the leather jacket, and the spiky hair or the mohawk. I had twin hawks. And I love the look, the Doc Martens, fucking.
I remember the first I think backyard show I went to and was like my first like again I didn't have an outlet. We were really kind of sheltered as kids. So 1988 when I started high school, it was like we're going to a backyard show. It was like exotoxins and non-tolerance, and like I came home with a mohawk, grounded for weeks. Fucking shaved head, like what the fuck? I hate you. And it was like it solidified that whole thing. And they get to see Bad Religion on stage that early in their career, which wasn't that early in their career, but that was it, man. It was like, well, this is fucking happening, and that's the end of it. And if you don't like it, I'm gonna fucking make sure you know it later.
Those early years, man, 80s of
just discovering JFA,
just growing up into a scene that was just starting. Yeah, okay, it started in 76, but 79 was when it started hitting big. So by 82, when the crossover started, I didn't like it at the moment, but I remember it didn't take me very long to accept it because it was like, dude, this is cool because it's bringing 2 communities together. Yeah, the metalheads and the fucking punks.
Absolutely.
And now it wasn't. Is there going to be a fight between us? It was
who we're gonna fight together.
It was the skinheads.
Suddenly it was the Heshers and the fucking punkers fighting like skinheads and the cholos. Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
But it was just that sense of community, and I think that's something that we've lost in recent years. I don't think
we've lost it. I think it's just kind of become a little bit divergent. I think the inherent adulting has happened, and it's kind of like it's inherent, like with the punk rock museum, like it's a sacred place. It's like. No, I was there. I was hammered drunk when that was like all going on. And so it doesn't need to be that sacred. And people are kind of holding that on a pedestal. And I think if we let that guard down a little bit, we'll find out that, to be honest, like as important as it was and as formative it was to us, it won't be to other people if we gatekeep it. And if we let that go and we say, hey, fuckers, this is your society. This is your fucking scene. It's your DIY. You do what you need to do with it. Go kill Justin Bieber a little bit. Like, I think that'll help a lot because I think there's a lot of fucking older guys that are going, it's like the scooter scene. Like, well, we don't want to tell you about it. Like, well, why the fuck not? Because then it's going to end.
But do you feel like that about the punk rock museum?
A little bit, yeah. Like, I think it's a little bit of a gatekeeping kind of thing. I think it should be let go a little bit. Like $30 to go look at a bunch of posters that I fucking saw. It's a little bit. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad place to be. It's not like I dislike anybody there. I love No Effects to death. It's like, oh, come on, guys. Why don't we loosen those reins a little bit? Because that's all we wanted at that age was to let the reins off. Like, let us go out and fucking do our thing, man. So it's like, hey,
I don't know. I mean,
it's a complicated subject.
The first time I went there, my friend paid for me to get in, so I didn't pay the $30. The second time I went there,
I got kicked out.
No, yeah, oh yeah, okay, yeah. And then the third time I went, I got to play, inside. So
I've never been.
It's like to me. And then to go in that first time and walk around not knowing what the fuck I was going to see, and seeing a lot of the memories that I've created for us in our scene, they're represented. And, to me, as a, quote unquote punk rock artist, is that I get to go into a place and know that, I am immortalized.
Sure.
My history is a part of that fucking scene. What does it say? Can you make that bigger? Because
you make them cry, and it, especially when you lick your hand and wipe it on your favorite heckler. Oh, there's a story there,
dude. I love that story.
Oh god. Well, let me follow up with that. Hold on for 1 second. So I would imagine that Van Gogh and Rembrandt, if they walked into a museum and saw their work super protected and fucking too far from people, they'd be like, no, I created that so people would look at it, not so people would have to stand back here and not be a part of it. So they have to judge it for themselves, and they have to be told what it's worth, and they have to have an explanation about it. Same thing with punk rock. It's fucking visceral. It's primal. It's a fucking pit, man. Like, the mosh pit is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. The old fucking the germs
mosh pit is fucking stupid.
The germs fucking pit. The
fucking
slam
badass.
pit was literally a fucking boxing match between drunk teenagers. And then the pogo stuff came in, and that was all very, very visceral. It was really just as like hands off, turn your brain off and be a primate as you can. And so now it's like, well, now we go around a circle so nobody gets hurt. And if you want to let somebody out, you have to let somebody out. Also, if you come into the punk rock museum, you can't touch anything because it's sacred. It's not sacred, man. That shit has been puked on, pissed on, shit on, spit on.
Yeah, but it doesn't need to be happen again.
Well, I think it does. Like, I think it's like if you want to call it punk rock, is this punk rock?
We're adults now.
No, well, we are, but we're not letting a younger generation experience that. We're taking the younger generation, we're smoothing this over for them, and we're restoring their car. And we're going, you've got a perfectly restored Beetle. Congratulations. And when it's like, no, here's your broken down piece of shit. Fix it, motherfucker, and make it good for you. That's the important part.
Plug it in.
No,
plug it in.
Scissors. We were doing scissoring.
But okay, Brian White brought something up.
God,
this was during punk rock bowling. If you can remind me what year it was.
11.
And Dead Lazlo's place opened up for RKL at the Cohill Lounge, and it had been like 2001 or 2002, I want to say. But we were playing. And this dude, he's an old friend of ours in part of our, the group we hung out with. But he was very annoying, and he would always just yell out songs that either he knew he didn't play anymore because he was very close to the band, and he just got annoying. But then he started fucking like throwing beer at me, and it, not that it bugs me, and I can handle it, but the constant heckling, and it just that night it got away from me. And there were two things that I could have done. I could have taken the fucking shitty way out and spit in the guy's face, but I decided I didn't want to do that because I don't want anybody to see me do that. I don't want to be that asshole. I can take it. So when he got close enough, I fucking just spit in my hand, and then I just wiped it on his face.
I think that's it's about as classy as you can get. Now, if that guy remembers that and he's watching, I want to hear back from him.
He has since passed.
Okay, well, why'd you kill the guy? But no, so that's what I'm talking about, man. If we don't allow people to have those moments, then they're going to be gone, and we're not going to have a scene anymore.
I guess I get it, but
fucking couch surf. Fucking Rick and Skunk, those guys are doing that hardcore punk. They're doing that, man. And it's some of our guests. They're fucking really informal society. They're out there slapping people in the face a little bit. And that's what we need the younger generation to do, is to take up that torch and continue on with that indignancy, like that just absolute immoral bullshit. Because that's what drives this. This is all anarchy. This is all protest. And it's our own form of protest. And what are we protesting against? Don't care. We don't remember because we drank too much last night, but we hate it. It sucks.
Open hand ain't a hit.
Fucking killing it. Yeah, it's just wrong. Like, then Jesus Christ, what was the reason you got into punk rock that was a protest in the first place? What were you angry about? Probably some kind of fucking oppression that had to do with just somebody saying don't do that or no.
To me, it wasn't even about. I wanted to prove a point, man. I was different from.
What was the point?
Like punk rock in the 80s, growing up, especially in my town, it was Nazi filled.
Yeah.
I got beat up a lot. And, you know, being a punk rocker is about being original. It's about being yourself. It's about finding yourself. It's about, you know, showing the world that this is who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
You know, no ifs, ands, or buts. How do you piss off a fucking Nazi? All right, I'm already Mexican. Strike one. They're skinheads. I'm a punk. Strike two. Well, there's only one thing left. I'm going to be a Christian fucking punk.
Oof.
And I was straight edge for my teen years. I didn't touch alcohol, didn't do drugs until I was 18. And being a Christian punk and owning it made me, I think, feel like, look, I'm fucking punker than you because look at all you guys. You guys all look the fucking same. All my friends look different, you know.
That's that old statement. I want to be an individual just like everybody else.
Yeah, and I didn't want to be like anybody else. And here I am still at 53, and I still don't want to be like anybody else.
It's actually 63.
I don't play drums like everybody else. I don't sing like everybody else. I don't write songs like everybody else. I do what makes me happy. And that's the fucking if, ands, or buts. There's nothing above that. Like with us, we do what we do because it makes us fucking happy, and we're gonna do whatever the fuck we want. If we want to say fucking cunt, if we want to say retard, if we want to, you know,
countryretard.com.
You know, like if we want to say anything, if we want to say anything we want, dude, it's our fucking show. If you don't want to fucking watch
then
it,
don't watch it.
It's if I'm in a band that you don't like, you don't have to listen to it. I really don't fucking care.
There you go.
If I'm fucking happy doing what I do, who the fuck are you to tell me? You know, if you have an opinion, go ahead and tell me. But I don't care.
I'm happy to listen.
Yeah.
I'm not really listening.
Yeah.
But no, I agree. And that's again, that's what the whole thing is. And I think we owe it to the younger generations to hand them the keys to that. We owe it to the younger generations to hand them the keys to that and say, hey, guess what? Here, go. And to not gatekeep that shit and fucking put it behind a fence and charge money to get in to see it.
But with the younger generation, now they have the 20, 30 years to make their own mark on the scene and create something. Fat Mike did it because, dude, he has the ability to. He has the personality to, the celebrity to, the money to, and he can do whatever the fuck he wants, and people are gonna do it, you know. But he, you know, realistically, I think
he doesn't hold back.
Single-handedly, that man has kept punk rock a fucking live.
I won't disagree with that one.
You know, by doing what he's done with Fat Records and with No Effects, and then the way that they're going out, you know.
Yeah.
I hope to Christ that they fucking go out and don't come back.
Never ever do another thing ever again.
That will make me respect that band.
Absolutely.
Till
by the way, we'll take backstage passes in the last few shows.
Yeah, please.
Bitches.
All three.
You know, like we look at
especially Lewis Idol night.
One of our fucking guests, fucking Mark Diamond and the Dwarves. I mean, literally, Blag's whole idea is like, how many people can I offend and how ugly can I make this?
Yeah.
And Mark jumps in, and Mark's a great fucking storyteller. And I love fucking sitting down with that guy. And that's another band that like they did what the fuck they did, regardless of what everybody else thought. They just fucking ran through their shit.
And people I've actually, you know, I rarely have ever heard a bad thing about, you know, oh fuck, I hate the Dwarves because this, you know. And if I have, it's something sexist.
The only thing I've heard bad about the Dwarves is like that guy fucking told my girlfriend she was hot. Yeah, of course he fights black, dude.
So did
Shut
I.
the fuck up. Like we were all staring at her ass. He just said it out loud. Like, get over it. So no, the Dwarves are fucking awesome. And again, Mark is a fucking amazing storyteller. We got a huge list here of awesome people.
Let's go.
Bill Woodcock. How many women have sat on Bill Woodcock's face while he drove a car? At least 11.
And a couple of dudes.
Maybe. That I can't attest to, but
I mean, okay, let's go over our list, you know, from the beginning. In January, we only did 2 episodes in January.
Yeah.
We did our pilot episodes, which is what we're doing right now, getting to know each other.
Yep.
Our only other guest that month was James Cross from LA Slumlords.
Yep.
And that was, you know, one of our highest, you know, I think it's because it was our second show. That's why the numbers were so high on that one.
And James is fun to interview.
He is. And he's a good guy. And he's been in the scene. He's well respected by many.
He's stolen a lot of scooters.
February, we only did the last two because I was going through my dad's funeral and everything. But Elias from Couchsurf,
Yep,
he was a great interview. And then he came back the following week because you couldn't be there.
Yep,
and he helped me interview
with Sebastian. Yeah,
from Bad Advice, and that was a great interview. Because,
Bad Advice is amazing.
You know, I know the kid really well, and it was like having two of my sons in the same room and them interviewing each other.
It's a little weird, but
And
okay.
it was so cool because, you know, again, and this is what I love about you and I is that I know every single one of our guests personally, and you get to ask them questions that I would have never thought of asking. And that's how Elias was that night. He was asking, you know, Elias, or Sebastian questions that I was like, oh, fuck, yeah, I want to know about that. I never really thought about it.
It's fun. It's fun to be in an imbalanced relationship like that. Like you've been there, and I'm the smart one.
Smart ass.
Oh my God, my ass has got 3 degrees, left, right, and center.
So then we move on to March. You know, we had Mark Maxey from Justice League,
Mark
Sloth Fist from fucking Foreclosure. You know, a dear friend of mine, the owner of fucking Mind Power Records. He was a great interview. The only thing that sucked about that interview was, again, this show is totally DIY. We were getting to know.
Sound wasn't great. We were
Yeah,
figuring out technology. Yeah.
You know, like we were trying to step it up. The following week was Peter Arsenal from Doughboys. You know,
So good.
You know, my favorite band. To have, you know, the first Doughboy, you know, on our show, you know, it was fucking incredible for me. Then the following week, we get Bob Odie from the Grimm and Glue Gun. You know,
reading the fucking Death Spoon right now.
And dude, that guy, you know, I've known that guy for 30 years, and
Bob's
just
awesome.
always a fucking sweetheart, man, and just so relaxed and not pompous whatsoever.
It felt like he was really used to doing interviews, and he was just like, "Cool, I'm here. What do you got?"
Yeah. And then the following week, Chris Del Rio.
Fucking Del Taco.
That was fucking so much fun. Fairvale.
If you haven't
Crime
yet,
Wave.
Look up Fairvale. They are dropping
Fucking
singles
Implants,
every week.
You know, fucking the original Screw Tape. I mean, that guy, the guy's an amazing songwriter. I'll never, ever, you know, can say anything less about that kid, man. The guy's truly an amazing fucking songwriter. Yeah. And then we go to April when we had Chris Off, my original fucking co-host. The guy that got me into doing this. They got me comfortable speaking behind a mic because I had to talk because he was stoned. And
what, bro?
One of my dearest, you know, Canadian friends.
Oh yeah,
and just
Chris is
just
fun.
A cool kid, man. I fucking love him, you know. And then coincidentally, he tried out an audition for Bad Town Boys the following week. The original singer for Bad Town Boys, Greg Keith.
Greg,
you know, one of my dearest, best friends, brother, road dog. You know,
I can't wait to play golf with that guy.
I've done with that guy sitting in the back of a van complaining about the music business, you know, and him single-handedly kind of teaching me, like, dude, this is what's going on, and you just don't see it. And then me going, well, I'm just having fun, and then going at the end of the first tour, going, holy shit. Like, we made a lot of money, but yet we didn't make any money. How is that possible?
That's the most impressive part of the music industry is like, wow, we got paid a lot, but nothing actually happened in my bank account.
Yeah. Like, oh, we have to pay this and we have to pay that and that person. But what did they really fucking do? You know? And then that's what kind of got me into that business mindset, that when we went the following year, it was all about business for me, about the merch, about, dude, we need to come home with money. If we're going to go with it for fucking 6 weeks, we need to make money, you know? And that's okay. You want to say, well, that's not punk rock. Bullshit, dude. It's fucking business. It's work. We're out here working. This is a job. If you want to be a fucking actual musician, you work, you know? It's a job. And if you look at it as a job and you do it, you know, 7 days a week, then you're going to be able to hopefully one day be able to finance yourself and make money doing this. And why shouldn't you? It's a fucking job. It's not, oh, I just want to make money. Dude, again, if that's your only reason behind it, yeah, you got to fucking.
Again, if you're a photographer, which is still an art, you get paid for your pictures. If you're a songwriter, you don't get paid for your songs. It's a real backwards kind of bullshit sort of thing. Peter Naring's commenting, hey, Peter.
Hey, buddy. And then the following week after that, we had Joe Doherty from Jughead's Revenge. I mean,
Yeah.
that guy, man, has been a part of this scene since I've been in it, maybe possibly longer.
Oh,
And that guy's made a name for himself. He has that, again, one of those singers, as well as Greg Keith, who instantly you hear those vocals and you know exactly what that
it is.
is.
Yeah.
And I attribute that to they weren't singers for many bands.
No.
They, you know, they had, I know that Greg was in a few bands before Bad Town Boys, but Bad Town Boys was the one that he made a name for himself. And exactly with Joe Doherty, he made a name for himself. He was never in any other bands. That's, you hear his voice, that's Jughead's Revenge.
Yep.
And their new album, one of the top 10 albums that have came out in the last year.
And both handsome devils, I do say.
And then another great singer is Vince Hero.
Oh, Vince.
From
that was one of my favorite interviews. And he was I love Fozzie's Hero so hard.
So funny. And I've toured with him.
I turned on I emailed about a dozen or more people. I was like, fuck, Fozzie's Hero. I haven't thought of that name in a long time. And went back to the catalog as much as there was. And literally like shot a million people like, you gotta hear this.
Mm-hmm.
I got a bunch of new people in. I'm like, you gotta listen to this shit. Fozzie's Hero is amazing.
And he's an amazing guy, man. I'm proud to know him and proud to call him brother. The next interview we did on the 29th of April was, I think, possibly like a bucket list item, of course, but it warmed my heart because it was my birthday show. And John Kastner, the fucking voice behind Doughboys, the fucking voice behind fucking Asexuals, you know, the voice behind All Systems Go.
Yep.
I mean, the guy to me in my fucking mind can do no wrong musically, you know, fucking Men Without Hats, you know, fucking, I mean, the guy's just, he influenced my vocals like no other person in punk rock.
And that's always a good question. Is like, what was your vocal, like, you know, inspiration? And there you go.
Him and Frankie Stubbs, you know, like both of those guys. Yeah,
my favorite moment in that interview was when he looked at you because we were doing a remote. He goes, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
Yeah, we didn't have that free interview that night. Everything was just like a last minute, and
it's like, what the fuck is going on?
And then the following week for our Cinco de Mayo episode, we actually drove down to Venice.
Yes,
and we spent the evening hanging out with Luigi from Suicidal and Lewicidal and Horny Toad. And that interview was just so
it was a shame that the
fun.
fucking audio was so bad and it clipped out so much. But
but it was just so fun. And again, that another person I've known for 20 plus years, and you know, a legitimate fucking punk rock icon.
Absolutely.
And just a sweetheart.
Have you heard a couple of songs we've heard of? Yeah.
If you don't, you should be interested too in life. So then we go on to the next week. The man we were talking about earlier, Bill Woodcock from fucking Foreign Object.
Lightning.
You know, from a bands we shouldn't know about, you know, and then
don't say it.
You know, LA Slumlords and then
Slumlords, Lightning, Woodcock.
And then
I mean, the guy is just a monster guitar player, an amazing front man.
Wow.
An amazing front man.
Yeah.
When we went and saw him play at the fucking what are that? Iskandite. Yeah. Rebecca, we were sitting next to the window and she goes, his sweat flew on me and I felt good about it. I was like, what the fuck? Like, Bill, she likes you.
Who doesn't? Then the following week we had Jody Kern from Starlog, Bad Samaritans.
Stalag 13 just played again. I'm like, fuck, I wanted to go see him.
They're in Hawaii, I think, right now or something.
So
or going about to go. But I've known him for fucking 30 plus years, man, and a brilliant drummer. Just always in the pocket and just his tenacity to fucking hone his skill daily.
Oh yeah.
Really, I respect that.
I've been watching the stuff he's been playing on that Cliffside.
Yeah. Yeah. Cliffside Serenades.
It's so fucking cool.
And then the following week we went to Punk Rock Bowling. And we did a 5-minute show.
We actually had stump doubles.
Yeah.
There for a minute.
But that was fun just to be in Vegas and meeting people who had seen us and introducing ourselves to new bands. And you know, we got a bunch of, you know, hey, I want to be on the show. You know, and that was fucking incredible. And then we hit June, the week after Punk Rock Bowling. We interviewed Patty Hearst, from the singer for LA Slumlords.
Love you, Patty.
And it was our first female interview.
We need more of those.
She was just amazing and very, you know, like she said it as she should.
Yeah.
You know, and
she doesn't mince words.
And should be respected as a fucking punk rock singer. Not a female singer, a punk rock singer.
Amen.
And then again, the week after that was Mark Diamond.
Mark.
And, you know, that guy was just absolutely brilliant interview. The following week after that was Eric King.
Dude, the Eric King follow-up, which I don't think anybody knows.
You guys have a mutual
So
friend?
Eric King and I were talking to some Redondo. I said, well, I've got a friend from Redondo. His name's Kevin. He goes, Kevin what? Kevin Scoggins. He's like, what? I'm like, are you kidding me right now? So they dialed the phone immediately, and so my buddy Kevin, who's one of my dearest friends in the whole world, suddenly like these guys met in grade school. Like they're on the phone, and they've been talking all the time. Like, holy shit, how does that even happen? You know, it's just
again the punk rock community, dude.
Oh yeah.
You know, and okay, then we go on to the next week, and it was Jake Warren from Turbo Fest.
Oh
in Canada.
man, yeah.
You know, one of my union
Sunshine Coast,
yeah.
which I didn't even know existed. So now that's a destination.
And that guy's just, you know, he was part of, you know, my first podcast. He was our weatherman and traffic guy. You know, every week we would just go to him for like 5 minutes. Hey, how's the weather out there? And he would just open the curtain and go, kind of overcast. No traffic, so you're good. You know,
keep driving.
The liquor store. You know, but yeah, Jake is always a fucking pleasure to talk to. And then we get July, and we had Slime from Crime Wave.
Oh, Dr. Slime,
a dear friend of mine. And he was
apparently I grew up blocks away from, and we have all the same friends from East LA.
And he's just one of the funniest guys I've ever met, man. And I love you, Slime. And then the following week, we had our first non-musicians, which was Matt Lucker and fucking Carlos from Burger Wolf Productions, who are part of the Transplants Brewing Company. And to get that perspective of venues and how they get their bands and, you know, the beer that they make. And it's just, you know, that guy has done a lot for me.
They've done a lot for the scene, even being out in Palmdale. Like those guys have an amazing stage,
and now
they record. They take care of all of the acts that come through there. Like if you're gonna play in SoCal, man. I would hit Transplants no matter what if you're in a band.
And if you've never toured in Europe, that's how you get treated.
Yeah,
that man has that respect for musicians and bands.
He's a good.
I can never say a bad word about
both.
And then the following week we had Informal Society, Rick and Skunk, man. Those guys were fun, man.
Fucking rippers,
Those guys can drink, and those guys are punk as fuck.
Fuck yeah, they are.
And it was so cool because I got to play Punk Rock Museum the day they got to play Punk Rock Museum.
Those guys remind me of like East LA backyard shows.
Yeah,
that's what they are.
That's what they started. But see, that's again, that's one of those bands that doesn't give a fuck. Yeah. You know, they'll play anywhere, anytime.
Yeah.
You know, and they'll drink
ladies' room at the fucking VFA.
Yeah. And I respect that. That's a true band. The following week we had Ian Down from Go Go Riot, and that guy's just a fucking renaissance man, dude. The guy does everything, and to me, I think he's a fucking genuine fucking soul. That guy doesn't hide himself. That guy says it how he sees it, and if people like it or not, fuck
you don't have to like it. You can't fault a man for feeling the way he feels.
You know, has good looks, and you know.
Well, I don't know. He was
a body made for sin.
He was okay looking. He had a nice hat.
But I love that guy. And, you know, the shows that we played, the times that we've shared, we're still supposed to go do his podcast. And I really want to do that soon. And then the following week after that was Chris Daly.
Chris Daly was funny as shit, dude.
Authority Zero and fucking Implants and Voodoo Glow Skulls, Death by Stereo. You know, that guy's resume is
those aren't small names.
No, and dude, to have like face to face go, hey, we want you to play. Come up on stage, jump up on the drums. Boop. No rehearsal, just boom and nail it.
Oh yeah.
And that guy's another guy like Jody who takes drumming serious, you know, and
percussion,
you know. And then we move on to August, you know, last month, you know, which was to me I think was an incredible month because we had our new studio coming into play. Our sound was just top notch. Everything was starting to roll. Not that we weren't having issues.
We finally got some actual equipment. We invested. We got this place a little bit better. It's all going to change. It's evolving. It's doing what it's going to do. It's going to get better and better and better.
Again, we're like a band here. We're starting from the beginning. It's do it yourself as we go. Like we've had 30 demos, you know. And again, okay, in August we had Tim Jameson from Ultraman.
There you go.
You know, fucking St. Louis punk rock, man, and Ultraman, one of my favorite fucking bands in the world, and one of my favorite people. You know, there's a guy who's never touched a fucking drop of alcohol. Never had done drugs.
That's amazing to me.
Skates. He's like in his mid
So much
50s,
respect.
mid to late 50s, and he's still skating every fucking day, and still part of the scene. Still an amazing singer. That new record. Oh, you know, like that man again. He can do no wrong. And then the following week, Crash Karma,
Boom.
a 2-piece band.
Ralph,
The very first,
Mickey.
the only time we've ever had a full band
Yep.
in our fucking studio.
All both of them.
Yeah. And then the following week, Chuck Poquette from
Chuck was awesome.
Bourbon Saints. And that a friend of mine since school days, you know, and to see his career and to see his talent grow and to see him now where, you know, he's still not a fucking egotistical piece of shit.
Now he's the nicest fucking guy on the planet. Like,
and funny. And
oh yeah,
evidently likes Irish American.
Oh, the drink.
That was a great show. That was a fucking great show.
I felt bad because you drank too much.
And the first thing he said when he got here was like, "Yeah, dude, I'm not drinking. You know,
I gotta drive home.
I gotta drive home." And
Family.
then he took one sip. He was like, "Ooh, dude, that's dangerous. I'll take one for me."
Man.
And he had a few. And then last week, man, Peter Naring,
Yeah,
you know,
Peter.
fucking Wisconsin fucking punk rock, man. Just
It's so gratifying to hear about something like Wisconsin punk. Like, look, punk rock doesn't exist on the coast only. It's fucking everywhere, and to be able to like highlight a place like Wisconsin, you know, like that is so gratifying. To be like, yeah, there was a fucking scene. There was shit going on. Here's the name of the clubs, and for him to remember all that shit, and to be in that place where. Yeah, like it really is. Like just to get all of that information is, it's the salvation of what we have as a scene. And again, I want to turn that lock and like, oh, everybody go for it, because that's what the scene deserves.
It is.
You know?
It is. And I think what we're doing for the scene is important as well. Like, I just thought of this is like the way you were saying, like, the way you look at the punk rock museum, we're creating our own museum.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a visual audio museum where you can watch our episodes on YouTube and research the bands that we interview.
You got all the cues, you got all the keywords.
Yeah.
You can look this up. It's free on the internet now.
Yeah, you can just go on fucking YouTube. So you can stay on YouTube while you're, you know,
so listen to us and watch all this shit.
And that's all that was our fucking mission from
that
day
was exactly
one,
it.
Is we want to educate on what is punk rock, new school and old school, you know, like it's all punk rock, you know,
but it's free.
Yeah. And it's just, dude, I think, you know, we're doing the Lord's work.
The Lord's work. But
you know, I again, man, like these last 30 weeks, man, 31 weeks now, dude.
It's been amazing. It's been a great journey.
Dude. And
we're gonna have sex now.
And you know, and we're not gonna stop. Every fucking Monday, we're gonna do this. And we've said it repeatedly that at least one of us, or all three of us, all four of us in this room right now have been there where we're just like, I don't want to be there, you know. And I've never missed a week. Everyone else has.
Well, you missed some weeks when your dad was gone, but I didn't pick those weeks up, which won't happen again.
But, you know, and I don't plan on ever missing another week because this is fun, man. Where else in the fucking world, or where else in our lives can we come together every Monday and have fun talking to somebody or talking to some people about
is
the one thing that makes us us? This
is fucking therapy, man. This literally is like, it doesn't matter what the week or the weekend or what we're feeling like is going on. We're talking about something we're passionate about, something we believe in. And we both want the same thing, as we want to, like, again, open the gate and go, fucking come on in, everybody. Grab up a fucking lawn chair, pull up a beer, do your thing, sit down, ask the questions.
Get tuned up and tune in.
Tuned up, tuned out, tuned off, tuned different.
These past 30.
Grandma, put the pig in the back. Give me the whiskey. I'll be right back.
But again, man, the 31 weeks have been absolutely fucking amazing, man.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to do this with anybody else from now on.
Well, thank you.
Like I truly fucking respect you as a fucking friend and as a fucking co-host.
I love you being my co-host.
Dude,
it's an amazing co-host
don't
situation.
Ever stay in your lane.
It's so
That's all I gotta say.
It's so good. Oh, love it. But I wouldn't do it any different.
No,
I would never want to do it any different.
Change. The only thing that's going to change is what the room looks like, and we're just gonna
Yeah.
grow and make it more. And I want to start traveling to shows and doing interviews with bands as they're, before they go on, after they go,
Oh, yeah.
they've gone off, and go to rehearsals to see bands. Go to
I think rehearsal interviews would be really fun.
that way we can interview the whole band, and
Interrupt their rehearsal, fuck them all up, so they
and,
suck.
Yeah, and bring booze. So
Right? Yeah.
really get fucked up.
Who likes
dude, I
heroin?
haven't drank in 16 years.
Who likes heroin?
That drink is dangerous. Irish American.
Irish American. That was the funniest shit. Well, here's the 31 weeks of fucking nonsense and awesome. You're all welcome.
Dude, it's been a fucking hour.
It's been an hour. We could do another hour. We're not going to because I have to pee like a motherfucker.
I'm just looking at yeah. And today, dude, this was quick. Like usually halfway through an interview, I'm like,
is it over yet?
I'm tired.
He's exhausted because
No.
But ladies and gentlemen, we are going to end this one. We're going to be here next week again, no matter what. You like it or don't like it. You fucking tune in. You don't tune in. We don't fucking care.
Who is our next guest?
I thought it was Jesus. Cristo.
Let's see. Let me look at it.
Pinche Cristo.
We're using our high-tech calendar system.
Thanks, Sean. You should have been on top of this one, but
Sean the Lesser.
oh shit, I don't even have it up.
It doesn't matter. We'll announce it during the week. We got somebody coming in next week, and it's not me. It'll be me. It'll be him.
Oh wait, duh.
Derp.
Yeah. Oh,
Pelican.
Frank Meyer.
Frank Meyer. Really?
Yeah, Frank Meyer's coming in next week
Fucking shit.
from Cheeto, Streetwalking Cheetahs,
Mhm.
Fear, LA Slumlords.
Yep.
Fucking, and then
I love Frank.
like, I love Frank too. And then the following week we have Mike Williamson from Junior Juggernaut.
Which I was.
Who's coming
That is this the station I've been playing in the shop all day.
When I walked in, I actually emailed or texted Wall, the drummer.
Right
Like, hey, guess who we're listening to? And then the following week, we're actually going to be going to Meow Meow's thrift store in Pasadena.
Oh,
to
we are
interview-
doing that. Fuck
We're going to
yes.
interview Veronica Saro, who's the owner, and she's also the singer for Nocturna, which is a Susie and the Banshees tribute band.
Never heard of her.
Fucking really cool. She's going to be our second female guest. And then the following week is Joey Ramici from Judge's Revenge.
Yeah, Joey.
So we got four amazing guests coming up in September,
Nice.
and then
We have
And
four
then-
amazing
and-
gallons of pee on
and
the
we
floor.
have guests already booked for the rest of the year. Like it's
gonna
just it's just getting better and better, and
Yeah.
we're getting better and better, and
I mean, we're awesome anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, fucking look at these handsome motherfuckers.
Way
Right? Yeah. What's up, Laurel?
so anyway, thank you for fucking joining us, and
Yeah, thanks for the past 30 weeks, everybody. We
Yeah.
really appreciate you
Like,
watching.
I know most of you guys watch after the fact. You don't watch us live, and as long as you watch and you learn something, or you write us and tell us like you got
Comment,
that wrong,
email,
or
get
you
us.
missed this. We want that. We don't claim to know everything, but we do.
we do.
But
Yeah.
again, brother, thank you so much.
Thank you, baby.
It's been
been a ride.
great, and it's gonna
It's going to be a
better.
longer ride than you wanted.
Fuck yeah. So again, your host, Gizz Lazlo.
Your other host, Just Paul.
And you know what you should do? Come back next Monday and watch us
without
every
fail.
Monday at 7.
And it won't be.
And remember to
Pelican.
please share, like, subscribe to at Do Podcast, DUPODXAST on YouTube.
Also, you can stream us live through the website. You know what you should do.com.
And I guess we're
still on Facebook
through
or something.
Live. I might as well.
Just look that shit the fuck up or
Some people
somewhere.
are stupid, or they're just there already.
Well, yeah.
So, and then hopefully we can figure it out and get on Instagram so you guys can watch us. But you can
Like,
always go on our
subscribe,
website,
hit
and you
the
can
buttons,
always see on the
visit our
feed.
sponsors, spend money on them because they love us.
Yes, and again, we'll see you guys next week.
Ta-da! Not a
Turn this off now?
no.
Oh my god!
I have to pee so bad I'm gonna die.